It's Wednesday, the 12th of March, and you are watching Anomalous Daily. Hi everybody, I'm Digby Fern, and welcome to today's episode of Anomalous Daily. Did you miss me? It's been a couple of days, hasn't it? I've had an incredibly busy week out here in Portugal. My wife flew back to England to go see her father for a couple of days, left me alone with two children, and all hell broke loose. But I survived. It's okay, don't worry. So on today's episode, we are looking at some footage from Willy Steber, who's just been on the Cosmosis podcast with Kelly Chase. But first of all, what we're going to do is have a look at an interview with Tucker Carlson and Chris Cuomo. Now, Chris Cuomo is the one of the news anchors on News Nation, which is incredibly famous for covering the UAP phenomena as of late, alongside with Ross Coulthart. They do a fantastic job of covering the UAP phenomena, but I've spoken about this before, and I wonder if News Nation is just sort of part of the problem. Maybe they're just feeding us the information that the government want us to see. So it's a bit of a tricky one. So Chris sat down with Tucker recently and had a little conversation, and obviously the UAP phenomena came up in conversation. And obviously, Tucker's spoken about this a lot previously and given his opinion on the UAP subject. And it seems to be something that he doesn't even like touching on anymore because it sort of drives him insane when he thinks about it too much. And I can get that. I think anybody that's been interested in the UFO phenomena has sort of got a bit tired of it at times, or they've gone down rabbit holes and you get too sucked in and you need to have a bit of a reality check every now and again. I know I have. But this is an interesting conversation because Tucker is obviously a big fan of Donald Trump, and leaving politics aside, you know, whether you voted for Trump or not, I think that everybody was expecting a level of disclosure from the Trump presidency by this point. So I think we can say that we are, at this point, perhaps a little bit disappointed in what's come out. We looked at the Epstein files being released not that long ago, and it turned out to be a bit of a nothing burger, and we're still waiting for more information to come out. And even then, it looks like a lot of big names will be redacted. So can we expect anything more from the Trump presidency when it comes to UFO disclosure, or in fact the John F. Kennedy files, which in my opinion are related? So let's have a listen to Chris Cuomo and Tucker Carlson talking about the UAP phenomena, and then we'll catch up afterwards.
President knows we just had an election where he was hammering on these things. And even with UAPs or UFOs, whatever terminology you want, we couldn't get more information. These things are all over the place. Sure, some are helicopters, some are fixed wing. Okay, not all of them. And they don't know? Of course they know. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars on the programs. And then we get all our hopes up, right? The media loves mocking News Nation about this because they think that, oh, Cuomo thinks they're little green men in the basement of some building. No, I don't. It's about knowing that we spend hundreds of millions of dollars and use special operators to do things that you won't tell us about. And at a minimum, you should say, well, here's why we won't tell you.
So what are they?
That's exactly right.
Well, but what are they, do you think?
I don't know what the fuck they are. The point is that they know and they won't tell us things. Well, I think it is anathema to democracy.
Of course I agree with everything you're saying except one specific point, which is I'm not sure they know.
They have programmed. They certainly know more than we do. Put it that way.
They do. They may know that they don't really know, which is the scariest thing of all. And I've certainly called a lot on this topic. I've stopped talking about it in public. I've tried to stop thinking about it because it's just one of those things that drives you crazy. But my strong impression is that they don't really know, that there isn't a consensus on this, and that they're not, from Russia or China.
He campaigned on it. It was supposed to be a no-brainer, and then they put out exactly what the Biden organization.
No, I'm aware of that.
Administration.
I'm aware of that, and I'm aware of that. That's just my view. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think it's as simple as they know exactly what's going on and they're hiding it.
Well, again, these are your people. Why don't you talk to them? They love you.
Oh my gosh, I have. And
so what do you got for me?
I think
I come all the way down here.
We don't
cross
know.
all these bridges.
We don't know. And I think that's kind of the scarier answer is
flying over military bases.
shutting them down.
And you
shutting down military.
Yeah, and you don't shoot them down and then figure out what it was.
Well, maybe you can't, so that's, so look, I mean, I think we're getting to the same answer. If there is a very obvious mystery that's publicly known, there's public pressure to solve the mystery, to divulge what you know, and you don't.
Yes.
Then there's a real reason behind it. It's not just ass covering.
Or do you have the arrogance to believe that you don't have to tell me?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. Because now that, especially in this administration that was elected on the promise of transparency, there's a real reason. Because there's tons of counter pressure. People are aware, like, where the hell are my Kennedy files? What's going on with these things over New Jersey? You said they were over your house in Bedminster. What is it?
So Tucker Carlson and Chris Cuomo, they're talking about obviously the UAP over New Jersey, the drones, whatever you want to call it, but also the level of political pressure that there is on the White House administration currently to be transparent like they promised they were going to be during, all the election speeches. So where are all these files and what's going on? Tucker Carlson adamantly defending the Trump presidency in the White House there. But you can see that Chris Cuomo there is getting very frustrated with the lack of transparency, the lack of information coming out of the White House on this matter. And the very fact there that even Tucker Carlson was saying that they might not know what this phenomena is. Now, I'm sure that there is files and data that the US president can get their hands on. But I'm also sure that there is a load of information that they're not read in on, that the deep state keep away from elected officials that can only serve a 4-year or 8-year term. Because as far as they're concerned, they're temporary, they're not important enough. So this information is kept locked away. Tucker Carlson, as well, we are very aware of that he really sits on the side that there's an angelic and demonic element to the phenomena. And I can see that as well. I understand that. I'm not one of the people that will go out and say it's all angels and demons, or it's little green men, or it's all greys, or it's all this, or it's all that, because I believe that there's multiple different things all happening simultaneously. It's like the extraterrestrial model. I believe in that too. I do believe that there are future humans coming back to visit us and to make sure that we, potentially take the right turn, the right fork in the road to make sure we don't have mutually assured destruction, which we seem to be on the road to at the moment with so many people pushing to exacerbate the war in Ukraine. And we all need a bit of a reality check as humans, and I think we all need to take the foot off the gas at the moment. Are you on X? Are you on Twitter? Do you see your timeline at the moment, and how all of it is political? Every single post out there at the moment seems to be calling Elon Musk a Nazi and burning Tesla showrooms and setting fire to Cybertrucks and criticizing Donald Trump, and then you've got the other side criticizing the European Union. Everybody's arguing at everybody. Can we all just stop? Really? I mean, come on. We want to find out information about extraterrestrial life in other universes or other dimensions, but we can't even stomach our own politics and deal with them in a reasonable fashion. I'm quite surprised actually about what's going on online at the moment, and the opinions and the way that people are aggressively pushing forwards their perspectives and their narratives, because I recently started hoping that mankind was at a point where it started to be able to move past these things. Clearly, I was very, very wrong. But you can see in this clip, going back to it with Chris here, that he is very frustrated with what's coming out of the Trump presidency at the moment. And I think if everybody was honest with themselves that voted for Trump, I think you would probably be saying the same thing right now on this matter. Hopefully, time will tell and more information will come out soon. But I'm not holding my breath. And that's not me speaking against the Trump presidency. whatever your political affiliations are on this subject. I really couldn't care less. But disclosure in its purest form will only come from the people through independent research and investigation. And really, we need to stop holding our breath and waiting for an announcement from the White House or the UK Prime Minister or the European government, European Parliament, whoever around the world. It's not going to happen like that. Not in a million years. Anyway, moving on to our next clip, Willy Steber has recently appeared with Kelly Chase on Cosmosis, talking about how unique the human species is, the human condition. Let's have a look and see what Willy has to say.
And to them, every single one of us is a complete separate universe. They are one, and we are many. And this is like a tremendous find for them. I know from my experience with them, they are aware of the fact that vocal species are uncommon in the universe. The reason they are uncommon is they don't last long. They fight, they argue, they explode, they die. And one of the reasons they're here, I think, is to try to prolong the lifespan of this remarkable vocal species that they have found.
I love this. I really love this. And actually, it goes on nicely from what I was just talking about. Look at our world at the moment. Look at the politics. Look at the struggles. Look at the lack of ability to communicate with one another effectively enough to prevent things like mutually assured destruction. And when you take out all the BS in politics and all the stuff that's force-fed down our throats to make us turn against each other, the divide and conquer, and if we had the ability to communicate as one or telepathically, we would understand not only the words coming out of somebody's mind, but the intention and the emotion behind it. You wouldn't be able to hide. So, and what makes us different, potentially, what Willy Steber is saying here, from every other species out there, or the majority of species out there, is the fact that we are individual. We are one. We are not the Borg.
Resistance is futile.
Your biological and technological distinctiveness will be added to our own. Scary line. So we're not used to that thought, are we? That everybody could know everything about us and vice versa. But if we did, perhaps we would live in more peace and harmony. But it's interesting to think that we are special. I think as the human species has always thought we were the center of the universe and we were special, which we're clearly not. But maybe perhaps when it comes to language in this way, we are. And maybe that is an element that they are trying to protect. Who knows? But it's a lovely thought. And well done for Kelly for getting Willy Steber on her new show, Cosmosis. I'll put the link to her channel in the description below. So from me, until next time, that's everything from Anomalous Daily for today, and I will see you all in the next episode tomorrow on Thursday the 13th. And before you go, I've just started a Patreon page. So if you want to support me, support the channel, then please head over to my Patreon page. The link is across the screen here and in the description below. So once again, from me, Digby Fern, until next time, thanks for watching Anomalous Daily. God bless and take care. Bye-bye.